Now it has come to the point that even the DSS DG recently said communities should find ways to defend themselves. The former chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.Y. Danjuma, Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma, has told us clearly some way back. At that point, he was so angry that he said that there was collusion. He emphatically mentioned the word collusion. We had some sheikh who knew where they were and would go there, parley and dine with them and come out in a matter of minutes. Yet our security men could not get there. From the videos from such points where the sheikh visited, of course, we used to see their dogs, their chickens, their goats, their rams, and it was some beautiful habitation. Yet we cannot take on them. What is the reason? What is their motivation? The arms that they are using, they are more sophisticated. Where do they get their training? How do they know how to handle weapons? Who brings in the weapons to the country? How do they manage to carry them from state to state and into the nook and crannies of this country? These are big questions. So it is difficult to say that the government is approaching it, in any way possible, because those who feel it know it. I feel it and I know it because my place is ravaged as well. Not just as Benue, but in Idoma land. Only last week, the Nigerians knew what happened. All right? We talked about Ehamofu the other day. It is completely deserted. There's a modern market in Ehamofu that no single person comes there. It is overgrown by weed in Enugu State here. And the reason is simple, because some persons who are seen as blue blood choose to do what they want to do. They must do their business anyhow. Some people compare, Ben, that Nigerians have the right to do business anywhere. And the question has been, can I go to, say, Katsina and just take any portion of land and build an industry without any recourse to the government of the land?
No
the answer is no. All right? And even in doing that, maybe my industry is such that I will have to channel factory water, do I have to channel it into people's homes and kill them? Because what we've seen today is not that they are ravaging the people. They leave you to plant your crops, the crops grow, and they go there and wantonly destroy them. And the question is, why?
Well, before I talk about the insecurity in the land, there's a breaking news that Pope Francis is dead. He just passed away. He died at the age of 88. To think that the old man was part of the Easter celebration in Rome yesterday tells you how mysterious life can be. The person you're seeing one moment, then the next minute you'll be shocked to hear that the person is no more.
Well, Ben, history has a place for everyone.
That's right.
Sometimes like one of the greatest journalists, TV hosts in America would say, do not be shy or afraid to tell your own story, your very story. And the story is about my mother. This woman had been ill for years. In 2023, 22 December, we spent everything, almost the whole of the month in the hospital. From 2024 up until now, in fact, 2023 up until now, we have never taken her to the hospital. She took ill on the 26th of March. Like play, by 27th, the old woman left. That is the case of this Pope now. Just like a man who was celebrating the wife's 60th birthday in Lagos yesterday.
Yeah.
He was speaking, he was dancing, he was all of life, full of life. At a point, she beckoned to the wife that she needed a glass of water, something like that. And before they could say, okay, bring some water, that was the end of the man. That is life. All that we have is you and I talking now, and anybody listening to us right now. The next minute, nobody knows. And it's the reason we have to be careful about what we do.
Sure.
Very careful.
Well, back to what the former defense chief said, T.Y. Danjuma. That wouldn't be the first time he made such a call. Bonnie told us how he once said that the only way out of the present insecurity in the land is for Nigerians to start defending themselves. But the question is how? In a society where everybody has access to gun, it will be chaotic. I'm an advocate that our security architecture should change. We should start doing things differently. But for me, the idea of everyone having access to gun is a no-no, because what we're going to see will be so crazy. We all know what the temper of an average Nigerian is like. So I would rather want a situation where the National Assembly, the state houses of assembly, would come up with possible laws. Let's have some form of organization. Let those young people, especially young men in communities, let them be organized in such a way that excesses can be checkmated. The activities can be coordinated from a central point. Allowing everybody access to gun, it's better imagined than experienced. Having said that, let's take a look at the other side. Recently, a Nigerian, a young man from Adamawa State, was convicted by the Supreme Court. He had been convicted by a lower court. The matter was challenged at the appeal, and it eventually got to the Supreme Court. What was his sin? This young man, whose name is Sunday Jackson, was on his farm working, in his farm, doing his farm work. Guess what? Somebody came in with a cow, or not a cow, with a herd of cows, and attempted destroying the young man's farm, a 20-year-old young boy. And he said, no, take your cows elsewhere. But guess what? Instead of the invader to take his cows elsewhere, he simply brought out a knife and attempted killing Sunday Jackson. As fate may have it, Sunday Jackson was able to overpower this herder, killed him in self-defense. But our law said otherwise. As we speak, if nothing changes, Sunday Jackson is going to die by hanging or by firing squad, as the case may be, because he simply fought for his right and defended himself. The Supreme Court today did not see that as self-defense. As far as they are concerned, Sunday Jackson committed murder. So if we fail to have an organized system through which communities can defend themselves, if people do this individually, the system can afford to pick them and say, no, what you did is not self-defense, that it's a murder, just like we've seen with Sunday Jackson. Let's hope, just like the Senate leader talked about yesterday, it's one of the stories we'll be looking at, that they hasten up with whatever it is they are doing. I know in some states they have things like this in place already. I cited Anambra last week. For me, Anambra is a good example. Today we have Agune Chamber there, and they are doing a terrific job. With the supervision and everything. We saw what happened last week or 2 weeks ago, how one of the operatives shot an innocent girl. So imagine if there was no supervision. Who would bring such operative to book? Nobody. It would amount to the girls' people carrying their own gun and retaliating, killing the operatives' people. So for us to prevent chaos, for us to prevent a situation where if you slap me, I'll just bring out the gun and shoot you, we need some form of regulation. And I just hope the authorities would be fast enough to address it. Let's not wait until this gets to that level that the likes of T.Y. Danjuma have talked about before we start doing something towards it.
Now, you talked about, youths in communities forming, call it vigilante groups, call it,
forest guard,
whatever you call it. I come from a rural area. I've visited so many rural areas. Governments in Nigeria over the years have made it impossible for the rural areas to develop. And so the young people that you're talking about all flee their local environments in search of livelihood in the townships and cities. What happens? They only come home during festivities, marriages, burials, maybe Christmas and all that. But I can assure you that most of the rural areas where these people, these criminals, terrorists go to ravage, they are, sparsely populated. And because of that, you probably don't have any police formation there, even a police post. Where you have just a few ill-equipped security men. You can't talk about military there. You can't talk about effective communication. You can't talk about good roads leading to the place. All right. So even the local government chairman of such places, some even live in the next town, not even in the local government, because we have, local government headquarters that are mere hamlets. They are all over the place, and I'm saying the truth. So how do we have them? Are we going to recall our young men and women from the cities to come back home, build infrastructure for them, give them, other means of livelihood? Because if the father, for instance, is a security man in his village, the wife is supposed to be trading or something. There's supposed to be a school that the child or children should be attending. Go to our rural areas. What are the schools like? The markets, run 4 days apart, particularly where I come from. Our market days are more like the Igbo, markets, where you have Unkwo and Ukwo in my place. Eke is Eke, Ore is Ede, and Afo is Aho in my place, and it's all like that all over Idoma land, for instance. We bear the same name with different pronunciation, more or less, with the Igbo. 4 days market on rotational basis. So where are we going to find the youths to form such, security setup that would deal with what these people are doing? In any case, the system has allowed them to penetrate so deeply. They even know more of your place more than you. And they come in the dead of the night with their weapons and all of that. There have been allegations of helicopters dropping weapons in places, even in the north of this country, in the deepest forests of the south. So what are we looking at? This thing needs more of intelligence. It needs more of government trying to develop the rural area so that people will be there. Because these bandits, except where in the north they are so daredevilish that they go to military formations and attack military formations in broad daylight. Most of the places, even in Benue, in Bokos, and the rest of them we're talking about, they are far-flung, underdeveloped environment, not in the cities. Sure. As we speak, the closest they've come to Tukpo town has been the recent one of Akpa Otobi. So they go there. There is no resistance of any sort because these are local farmers. And what I'm talking about again, there won't be food in the future because farmers are not going to their farms. It goes beyond using Easter to make a statement like, we're going to hear after the break from, a senator of the Federal Republic. But I think a word is enough for the wise. The president is sending words from France. Fine and good. He will come and still go back, but the situation remains the same. After all that we've been hearing, it's now that we're also hearing that maybe the VP will be going there. To do what? To give them rice and gari and tuwo? I don't know. But we'll be back after the break. Stay with us.
Every day when my children return from school, I don't recognize them. Hello? Do I know you?
It's us, mommy.
But these dirty, sweaty uniforms and socks were clean in the morning. Everything don't transform. I understand though. School is hectic. It takes energy to come home this transformed. So I make sure they have some nutritious Milo at breakfast.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac Junior comes with the nutrition they need: natural grains, protein, and iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
Don't let cracks and leaks ruin your day. Use Top Shield, quality waterproofing product for all kinds of concrete roofs, kitchen sinks, balconies, swimming pools, and water tanks. Top Shield, another quality product from the makers of Top Bond. Top Shield, build strong.
I want a so-free rice. I don't want it gummy rice. That's why I choose Kiara. See, I see this well, Kiara. Joy, joy, joy. The taste of joy is here. Pretty lady, African king, very good. Proudly Nigeria and Bogu rice.
Experience the taste of joy with Pretty Lady, African King, Proudly Nigeria, Red Eagle, and Bogu rice. Kiara Rice Mills, the taste of joy.
How far? This question now for you. Wetin dey make you come out from bed for morning? Shey na the sun wey dey rise? Abi na your alarm wey dey ring? No, na that dream, that drive, that unstoppable force wey dey inside you. And you sabi wetin dey fuel that drive? Na to start your day strong with rich creamy taste of Nescafe 3-in-1 wey dey carefully crafted from selected coffee beans. So whatever your hustle be, make you go from maybe or I no fit to I fit and I go do am. Nescafe 3-in-1. Start gidigba, finish gidigba.
Start your children's day with a great taste of Ovaltine, enriched with multi-nourishment, calcium, malt, and vitamin B12 to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
ọ bụrụ na ị bụ onye Airtel, a gara ịgwa gị tupu ị pịa ya. Ndị Airtel na-enyere aka ịmata ndị na-ezi ozi efu, bịa mee ka ndị ahịa ha mata maka ya site n'enyemaka nke AI kwadoro iji hụ na ozi efu ndị ahụ agaghị enwe ohere igbu gị wayo, anaghị akwụ ụgwọ, o wee gị ndenye aha.
Biko, ekuzina, ana m eji isonye Airtel, fiam!
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Ndaba, are you ready? Ethnocentric and Fashion Future program are bringing you the biggest fashion and business event. The Fashion Games 2025 is coming. A fashion experience like none other right here in Aba. Get ready for fashion competitions, fashion runway show, carnival display, trade fair and exhibitions, and the graduation and award ceremony for Fashion Future program FFP participants. 30th of April 2025. Venue, Enyimba Stadium, Aba. Time, 9 a.m. prompt. Be there. Come, showcase your talent, connect with industry leaders, and be part of a movement shaping the future of fashion. Want to attend? Register for free at www.fashionfutureprogram.com. Follow us for updates on Facebook and Instagram. The Fashion Games 2025, where fashion wins. Announcer, Ethnocentric Limited.
People and politics, providing the alternative voice within the democratic space.
Alright, you're welcome back. Amidst renewed violence in Plateau and Benue states that has claimed over 100 lives in recent weeks, Vice President Kashim Shettima is expected to visit Plateau State today, being Monday, as part of federal efforts to stem the tide of attacks and foster lasting peace. The visit is coming days after gunmen launched deadly attacks on Bokos and Bassa communities in Plateau, attracting public outrage and deepening calls for urgent government intervention. Confirming the Vice President's visit, the Humanitarian Affairs Minister, Nentawe Yiwata, disclosed during a tour of affected communities in Bassa on Saturday that Shettima's visit was directed by President Bola Tinubu himself. During his visits, Shettima is expected to convene a high-level stakeholders meeting aimed at enhancing security coordination and strengthening local peace initiatives.
Well, we heard about the Hutus and Tutsis in Rwanda back in the day, and we knew what it was. The story should be fresh in the minds of, the two warring parts of Rwanda. But I think it's also fresh in the minds of those of us who were mature enough to follow the story at the time. It was gory, to say the least. Now, some people are giving a coloration of ethnic conflict in what is happening in Bokos and Bassa. I think it has to be clearly stated. Is it an invasion? Is it an attack from outsiders and those who are trying to grab land? Why did I say this? I say it because the governor of the place, Mr. Caleb Mufwang, has said what is happening in his state is genocide. He pronounced it as such, and I'm just reflecting on it. Is it genocide by brothers and sisters who want to fight? Is it criminal land grabbing as he described it? Brothers who want to grab the land of fellow brothers? How come it has just started? So, as the vice president holds the high-level security meeting or parley, he should be able to get some facts about what is happening, who is involved, why. The how we know already, because the how is that they have been attacking and killing people, and it has consistently happened since, you know, the greatest one on the eve of Christmas in 2003, and it has never really stopped. Within this month alone, it's been twice, and the number is rising. And with all of this, if there had been enough security presence and intelligence, there would have been a way of nipping it. So if you wake up tomorrow and you hear that it has happened again, yes, those who are carrying it out would have done it again. And it baffles me, because I thought by now there would have been an arrangement whereby anywhere such a conflict is emanating from, there would have been ways and means of checkmating them immediately, or even knowing that it was going to happen, and then they would nip it. But that is not what we're seeing. If they come to point A, as you are talking, they are in point B in the next 2-3 days, because they are light years ahead of those who are supposed to do the job. Of course, I don't want to repeat myself telling you that videos are commonplace of our security men crying from the fronts that indeed they could do the job, but they are being, you know, arm twisted or hamstrung. Somebody should be able to, you know, tell us a better story. The president is away. The vice president, who should be acting, has to be what? Directed. The same way we were told back in the days of Boko Haram and ISWAP that, you know, the president had to direct a man who has been given the mandate of, you know, to handle security. If that is the way we're going to do it, and there are, you know, as alleged, political, you know, considerations here and there, then things may not just work. Is that bad?
Well, last week we did pose the question, why couldn't the president truncate his visits to Europe and come back home? A man whose house is on fire should not be seen truncating or jumping from one part of the world to another. Ideally, we've seen situations in other countries where just 2 or 3 citizens would die, and you see the way the country's president or leader would react. But as life has become so cheap that scores of our brothers and sisters die almost on a weekly basis, and we move on like it is nothing. We look forward to the next breaking news. That's how cheap life has become in Nigeria. I just hope that the vice president's visit, he will be able to meet the victims of this incident. When the IGP visited last week or 2 weeks ago, he couldn't meet the victims. He stopped at the government house as if the killings took place at the government house, and that was it. These are Nigerians who have leaders. In situations like this, most people look towards seeing their leaders. If not for any other thing, their presence has a way of giving them that sense of belonging, that they are not left alone, that the government really cares about them. So I just hope that the VP will be able to meet, maybe not all the victims, but at least some of them, and assure them that the government is doing something towards ameliorating the situation. Let it not be like the IGP's visit. Let the visit be tangible. Let it translate into something. And for our president, maybe, just maybe, until more Nigerians die, that is when he would deem it fit to come back home. We were told last week that he was working remotely. So there is no way the president can feign ignorance that he doesn't know what is happening in the land today. I'm wondering what it would take, how many lives it would cost for him to abort his trip, come back home, and meet with his people who are mourning.
Well, you talk about, you know, meaningful outcome following the, you know, envisaged vice president's visit. Yes, if you look at the geography of Nigeria, both the Federal Capital Territory, Benue and Plateau states, they fall within the middle belt of Nigeria, right? Now, even if you're not flying, and I know they have the opportunity of flying, going to Makurdi, the state capital, where you have one of the best military airports in Nigeria, manned by the Air Force, just a couple of minutes. Going to Jos, the Yakubu Gowon airport, since they have to fly, is just in minutes. If you're going to Makurdi from Abuja, it's a question of 3 hours, just about the same number of hours. All right? So, how come since these things have been happening, that the vice president, who happens to be at home, has not visited any of these two states until now, and we're hearing that he has to be directed. For me, is a no. Now, for the vice president to go, let me tell you, the whole of the areas he will visit will be shut down by security men. It will be locked down.
True.
There won't be movements, vehicular and persons. But we won't have such security presence while the attacks or before the attacks are taking place. These are some of the things we have to look at. Now, the National Assembly, we may want to talk about that because we have someone, who has actually has been outraged by their silence, by their inaction, by their, complicit, and all that. And the person is Pastor Tunde Bakare.
That's right. Well, the former APC presidential aspirant Tunde Bakare has decried the relationship between the executive and legislative arms of government under President Bola Tinubu, asking him to stop playing God. Bakare, who is the serving overseer, Citadel Global Community Church, issued the warning in his State of the Nation address delivered in the Lagos auditorium of his church yesterday. He raised the alarm over the state of affairs in the country, saying Nigeria was steering in the wrong direction. Recalling the recent activities of the National Assembly, including the approval of a state of emergency in Rivers, the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, Bakare said the country's legislative arm of government is now an extension of the executive, grossly violating the principles of separation of powers and rubber stamping the whims and caprices of President Tinubu's office. Let's take a listen.
Those entrusted with power appear determined to destabilize what is left of our political institutions and have committed themselves to obliterating the guardrails of constitutional governance. From the theater of the absurd, stage in Rivers State, with puppets on strings controlled by directors in Abuja, to the dance of shame performed by the National Assembly in their rush to suspend the Constitution and endorse through the back door the usurpation of powers by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes, Pastor Tunde Bakare. He speaks so well. He's a lawyer, a Muslim turned Christian. I love watching him because he's brave, and I tap from his speeches. But I could say that since he veered into partisan politics, there was a little subtraction from my admiration for him. Not only was he a vice presidential candidate when Buhari was running on the platform of CPC, he was also a presidential candidate. As a matter of fact, I was so confused that I had to doubt it. Ben had to, clear my eyes. And in between the period he was vice president and when he went for the full ticket, he had said in one of his services that the whole world should hear that he was going to be the next president, that God spoke to him. Why wouldn't that subtract from my admiration for him? But we're not looking at the messenger here, we're looking at the message. As a matter of fact, in our preamble, we did mention it, that the Senate, the National Assembly of Nigeria, is complicit in several ways. The executive is running, as if there is no separation of power. And it has gone to an extent that I personally have said that we should know the difference between the judiciary as an arm of government and the judiciary as courts, and courts which I dare say have been compromised, because even the lawyers, including senior advocates, have said it. It went to a point that some lawyer was saying that the Chief Justice of Nigeria should punish any lawyer who criticizes the judiciary. And I say, what? I mean, there is God in some people. Some people have conscience. But that is by the way. The National Assembly, particularly the Senate, after Saraki, has not been the heart and hub of democracy, which is supposed to be. I recall that the immediate past Senate President, Lawan, who is also a Sidon look now like my uncle David Mark, after being a Senate President, did say in his time that yes, he agreed he was a rubber stamp Senate President. But today, I think it is more than rubber stamp. It is ink and pen. Yes, it is ink, because you have to put an ink in a pen to, to be able to write. So we're seeing a Senate which is like the ink that the executive uses as pen. So I'm worried. Could anyone say that Bakare is wrong here?
Not at all. Let me start with one of the lines he used yesterday. He reminded the president that nobody, no matter how good that person is, should have access to absolute power. No matter how good you are, if you have uncheckmated power, there is always a tendency for that power to be abused. I just wish people would understand this. But ours is a situation where we have an all-powerful president who is too powerful that everybody looks up to him. His body language, if he coughs, people act in certain way. Just you talked about the vice president's visit to Plateau State today. Nigerians they were killed in their numbers. It took the president, who is in faraway France, to direct the vice to visit before he deemed it fit to visit. That's the kind of democracy we practice. And I'm not just blaming the executive. The legislators, the lawmakers should also take a good chunk of the blame. We have a system where Nigerians would elect House of Rep members, would elect senators. When it is time for them to elect their leaders, guess what happened? Or what happens? They will pack themselves, go to the villa, seek the president's view, and the president would endorse, okay, this is the person I want. This is the person I want to remove this one, put this one. That is what we have seen over time. I think it was only the Seraki Ekweremadu's leadership that was different.
Unamani was strong.
Exactly. But today, Akpabio became the Senate president because President Bola Tinubu endorsed him. Tajuddin Abbas became the speaker because President Tinubu endorsed him. If we continue having this overbearing
what about
influence,
the Chief Justices of Nigeria?
Exactly. This overbearing.
Onoge came, an old man that wanted to work. You know what happened to him? Now we have a Kekere Ekun that you would expect, Ben, being a woman and a mother, would look straight in the face of Mr. President and said, look, I have been in this profession for so long, I've earned my name, I have done everything I have to do so that even when I'm gone, history will have something to say positively about me. But she is sitting there, and the president is declaring not just a state of emergency where there is no practical reason for, all right, but also dismantling democratic structures, and the CGI is there. Does that not inform the reason I asked this question, where is the judiciary? Well, and if the legislature is rubber stamp, all right, ink and pen, then I'm wondering what the judiciary is like. It's not even existent.
The judiciary is sit down, they look. Unfortunately, that's how it works. They sit down, they look until somebody brings a problem before them.
But that is the courts. We're talking about the courts. The judiciary as an arm of government. We're talking about arm of government. That is what we're talking about here. What is it not supposed to interpret the laws as it's supposed to be if the other arms fail to act in precise manner? That is what I'm saying. Taking a material case to court, yes, which is under the judiciary, I don't have a problem for that. It's what you bring before them. But as an arm of government, and an arm, that which forms the third arm of government, that is what I'm talking about. And I think lawyers should clear it, because I have been asking this question. Maybe I'm not wrong after all, but because the judiciary as an arm of government is sleeping, they have decided to say, make themselves sit down, they look. But I know that very, very senior lawyers have criticized the goings on in the country vis-a-vis where it reflects or affects the laws and the Constitution. All right, away from that now, leader of the Senate, Senator Okoyemi Bamidele, says the National Assembly was working on a legal framework to establish state policing as part of efforts to address the rising insecurity across the country. In a statement released by his Directorate of Media and Public Affairs to mark the Easter festivities, Bamidele also called on security agencies to intensify efforts in apprehending and prosecuting individuals responsible for the killings, kidnappings, and the destruction of property in various regions of the country. He celebrated with Christians worldwide, asking leaders across board to shun divisive agenda and narratives that could compound the country's challenges.
Well, away from security matters, the West African Examinations Council, WAEC Nigeria, has revoked the licenses of 574 schools that were found guilty of examination malpractices. The examination body stated that the schools would not be allowed to conduct examinations, even as the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASC commences from Thursday, April 24 this year. Head of WAEC's national office, Amos Dangot, made this known during a press briefing at the headquarters of the examination body in Lagos. Dangot said WAEC had forwarded the list of the affected schools to the federal government. The 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination would hold from Thursday, April 24 till Friday, June 20, 2025.
Well, 500 for me is not comprehensive enough, because if you go to just one town alone, you have quite a chunk. Not to talk about 36 states, 774 local governments, and the fact that it has become a major industry for fraudsters who use them to make money. I recall a school here somewhere on Clifford, I think very close to the river, where the man who runs the school is also a pastor of a church. And the place was such that when children were coming to write JAMB, even though this is WAEC we're talking about here, they locked the gate, and he had NSCDC officials at the gate. My son came to write JAMB in town that time. Unfortunately for him, on that same day, the result of the previous one came out, so it didn't really matter. But I'm talking about what happened. This man had NSCDC officials at the gate, and they were collecting certain amount of money for the candidates, from the candidates, before they go inside. And so when my son called me, I went there and I questioned the man, and he said, yes, we use it to buy petrol, we use it to buy to maintain our computers and all that. I said, look, the government that made you a center must have given you something to maintain all those. We've been to other centers, we haven't seen anywhere where gates were locked to collect money from, candidates. It became a big problem, and I told this all the children that are massed by the gate. I said, go inside, and they went inside. If the pastor is still alive and well, he probably is listening to this program right now. That is how bad it is. This one is just close to us, just across the water.
They call it special centers.
Yes, or miracle.
Or miracle centers.
I mean, calling it a special center is just giving it a very beautiful name, and there is no need calling something that is bad any beautiful name. It's like calling criminals and marauders and herdsmen that attack villagers and marauders, or whatever name you want to call them. All right, that is too much English for me. All right, so maybe 500 in the first instance, but WAEC could do more, because and then the schools, the supervisors within schools, where that is even the real schools, the May-June edition, there are those who go to examine whether the examination is going on well. They have packages.
True.
Once they are given packages, they turn and go.
True.
And every school wants to be known as where the students came out with A's, and you understand me. But when they come to you and you interact, you know that they never merited even C's and D's. That is how bad it has been. So WAEC should go further down. Even the markers of papers, they have their own ways too of cutting costs. By Governor Alex Otti. This followed NUT's observation at the end of an enlarged meeting of representatives from the national, state, and branch levels of the union held on Tuesday, March 4, and meeting of the Abia State Standing Committee held on the 28th of March, and subsequently they issued a 14-day ultimatum. There was also a recent 7-day ultimatum to Governor Otti to address the issues raised at the meetings or face their anger. According to the communique made available to newsmen on Saturday, signed by the state chairman, Madu Friday, and the state secretary, Mrs. Unnenna Okonkwo, the union talked about non-payment of arrears of teachers in basic schools, as well as their working condition.
So there you have it. This problem has been lingering for a while now, and I'm wondering why it is taking the state government too long to address it. What the teachers are simply saying is, what our colleagues, especially those who teach the senior secondary schools, are enjoying, let us enjoy it too. They even talked about their last salary that was paid in March, that it did not reflect the new minimum wage. So why is it that a particular set of people are enjoying the new minimum wage and another set of people who work for the same employer are not getting theirs? Please, Governor Alex Otti, the Commissioner for Education, should take a look at their plea, at what the teachers are saying. 11-month salary arrears in these difficult times, in this economy. How have they been managing? Let's hope that the state government will not fold its hands and allow them embark on the strike on Thursday this week. They've given ultimatum after ultimatums, but guess what? Nothing was done. The usual Nigerian attitude. We don't do anything, we don't act until things get out of hand. We'll start reacting, start calling for midnight meetings. To think there was negotiation in the past, these talks took place. What is preventing the state government from implementing the outcome of those talks? Let's not allow children to sit at home. Schools will be resuming soon. Some would resume this week. Let it not be that when the children resume school, what they'll be met with will be strike on the part of their teachers.
Well, we're in a country where inadvertently institutions discriminate against citizens. You have a BSc and I have a BSc. I go into the civil service and they say level 8 step 2, and I cannot earn up to even 200,000, net. The same person with a BSc goes to NNPC, for instance, same government institution. I recall when we were in FRCN, yes, we were all parastatals under the Ministry of Information, but the NTA and FRCN staff in particular would not enjoy what even NIPOST was enjoying, what the National Museum was enjoying, what NBC was enjoying, and other parastatals under the same Ministry of Information. Just to give you a clear example, you are in the Ministry of Finance, but if you find yourself in the central bank, which the finance ministry controls, your salaries cannot be close at all. But what I am trying to say here is, for a child to be in SS3, that child has gone through GSS 1 to 3. Exactly. The foundation has been laid. The teachers who teach in both GSS classes and SS classes all went through teacher training institutions, probably have the same qualifications, and it is possible that the person, if it's the same school, who teaches a particular subject in the GS class can also at the same time be teaching the SS class. So why the dichotomy? I call it discrimination. Although it's an allegation from the NUT, but they couldn't have been shouting this loud if it is mere allegation. All right, one would want to know why it is so. If you tell me that a man with a BSc in the ministry is earning this much and somebody goes to Chevron, that one is a private concern. If they like, let them pay the person, but a government institution. But in this case, one umbrella, one school, one curriculum, talking about, I don't know. So I think government will listen to their plea, as you said, and I agree with that 100%.
All right, we'll take another break now. When we're done with that, we'll go interactive. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
nwanne agụụ na-anyụ ndị mmadụ ịkpakọ ọnụahịa dọla na petrol a na-arị elu ọjị ma anyị onwe anyị nọ na Union Bank akwadola otu narị nde naira na iri nde naira atọ na otu a ga-erite site na amụma Save and Win Pali Promo 4. ị nwere ohere ịbụ otu n'ime mmadụ atọ ga-enweta ihe nrite mara abụba dị narị nde naira ise n'otu tinyere ọmarịcha ihe nrite ndị ọzọ. iji rite ihe ndị a chekwa puku naira 10 maọbụ karịa n'ọba ego gị dị na Union Bank ma kwụnye maọbụ wepụta ego ihe ruru ugboro 5 kwa ọnwa. iji mepe ọba ego gaa na unionbankng.com. enwekwara ihe ndị so ya o. Union Bank, ụlọ akụ gị dị mfe ma dị ngwa ngwa.
Hello? Mandewo, achọrọ m inye driver ahụ ego gị ka o wetere gị ya na village.
Enyela onwe gị nsogbu nwa m. Ziga ya na akaụntụ Smart Cash m.
Mama, ya bụ na ị maara banyere Smart Cash.
Enu, ha na-enye ọtụtụ onyinye. Sendie ya na nọmba Airtel m.
Ọ dị mma, mam dị sharp.
Ngwa Piazza 939# ma ọ bụ download ngwa Smart Cash ka imepe akaụntụ nke gị ka ị nwee ike yorie nnukwu onyinye 20,000 naira na Smart Cash. Ị ga-esite na onyinye 20,000 naira gị kwụọ ụgwọ oge ọbụla izuru oge okwu ma ọ bụ kwụọ ụgwọ ọbụla na Smart Cash. Ị ga-enwekwa ike ime transfer gaa na bank ọbụla na Nigeria. Usoro na ọnọdụ dịkwa ya.
Hello, ọ batala.
Smart Cash, Airtel kwadoro ya.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac Junior comes with the nutrition they need: natural grains, protein, and iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
Mr. Teacher, please, what happens when children come to school? How is it that they leave home very neat and return looking so different?
Non-stop action, ma. All the learning and sports burn energy. So those sweat stains, dirty uniforms and shoes, they show that your kid has been very active.
Now, wow.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Malanta! Malanta! Malanta!
Hey, yes, so now so you dey take no malaria-free community. For me, I no fear malaria again, no. Sake of say, Malanta dey for me with double artemether and lumefantrine. Wey dey inside Malanta, my day today no get wahala jare. That's na why happy malaria-free community dey talk say Malanta. E solid and e dey work wella. Malanta. E no dey tear pocket. Malanta. Na for man and woman. Malanta care. Na for papa and the mama. Malanta care. Even for children.
Malanta dispersible.
If malaria showing ugly face again, throw Malanta give am. Now why happy malaria-free community they shout Malanta! Get Malanta DS today to summer that malaria. Malanta DS go save the day. E dey available for any pharmacy where they near you. If symptoms still dey after 3 days, make you go see doctor. It dey marketed nationwide by Onkoyo Pharmaceutical Limited.
My name na Poco Doctor. Emeka and Nkechi no allow malaria hold you back. Oh, go buy Malanta today.
People and politics, providing the alternative voice within the democratic space.
All right, so join us right now. Let's get talking on 0907 677 1029, 0916 988 1029, 0809 666 1029. We're also on Facebook, and you can get us through Magic FM Aba. YouTube is Magic FM Aba, one word, and Instagram at Magic FM Nigeria. Let's get talking right now. Hello, good morning.
Brother and brother, good morning.
Morning to you.
I want to appreciate you for doing a good work this morning.
God bless you.
This is the evangelist, mission evangelist from Abuki Shugui.
Okay.
Why won't IGP go to government house? Do you want him to be attacked openly? That's why he went through narrow doors so that nobody will attack him. 1, 2. The vice is going to that state to address them, telling them that the head of the president has gone to France.
Go ahead.
The insurgents. By 2028, after the election, they will see the weapon that will be coming. And they will shout, yay! And that will end the whole story. They will come back. He get there for campaign. Thank you and God bless you.
God bless you too.
That have been wrecked by insecurity. We have a president that actually doesn't care about how we feel. It is very disheartening that we have a lot of people that assume the position of leaders, and at the same time they become so irresponsible. Take for instance what is happening in Abia State now. Apart from the road infrastructure that we are seen a lot of improvement in Abia State. Look at what the teachers are complaining. And when you look at the people that put this governor in power, it is made of civil servants. He used the salaries that are being owed to civil servants as a yardstick to ascend that throne. And what did they get? Now, I was verifying the 2025 budget. You see, I look at the budget, the issue of the international airport is not captured in the budget. You now ask, how do the government get the money to pay the people whose their land was taken for the airport? You look at how money are being spent with so much impunity. Something that is not clear about other government is that they are not open in all they do. The issue of teachers should be handled carefully because the governor came to power by civil servants. Let me tell you the truth. Teachers are suffering. Civil servants are suffering. The minimum wage should be paid in full, not in half. It shouldn't be used as a politics. That's my take. Let me give other people time to hear their views.
Okay, thank you very much. Ben did say earlier that the union, both from the national to the zonal to the state level, they've been talking. First of all, they gave 14 days ultimatum and then another 7. And then by Thursday, they say if nothing is done in the affirmative, they'll be going on strike. Ben did say something. It's not when they have embarked on strike, then you begin to call midnight meetings. That caught me. All right. So I want to believe also that government would react today as whatever their position is. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Peter. I call from Ikota Road, Abado State.
All right.
Okay, I want to react on this of this herdsmen attacking communities, indigenous communities in Nigeria, because earlier this year, the state where I came from, I've been attacked by these herders.
Which state is that? Which state?
Plateau receiving Taraba. Those folks receiving their own big share in this hand of these herders. And our president, who take oaths to protect life and property of the citizens, and now in somewhere where the environment is calm and enjoying it, not yet. It's only now when some people is calling for people to defend themselves. Now they say that the vice president to go to Plateau State within a week or 2 weeks. Hundreds of people are roasted like Kanda, and all their properties and their livelihood have destroyed. And inside of our security agency, I don't even hear one person arrested. I don't hear even one name attached to these people. Because yesterday I see where the arrest of kidnappers, they attacked them, the IPOB. But these people killing, burning house, in broad daylight.
Anyway, that is it. We have to let some other folks talk, right? We thank you very much. I think you've made your point. Some other persons have to be allowed to also talk on the show. Now, we go to our Facebook right now, and we have this one coming from Ngozi Ajuanu. I think Ngozi is a female, thank you. It's referring to the case of the Pope, and it says, may his soul rest in perfect peace. Ichie Ogbuefi Unanyerugo RCK. How can any responsible person blame the presidency for insecurity and betray their own just for money or to make some people feel good? If certain financial backing have been going to the military, why is it not reflecting? How is aiding the loots? Well, ROCK, I do not understand what you're saying precisely, but indeed we have soldiers. It's not about the military in this case, because from what we're hearing from the fronts, it appears the military can do what they have to do, but they are complaining. If you're on Facebook, you may get to see what I'm trying to talk about, because I don't want to repeat myself like a broken record. Emeruwa Michael, you say my heart goes out for all Catholic faithful over the death of Pope Francis. For Abia government and teachers, government should be proactive, face and tackle the welfare of teachers, and dissolve the present ASUBE board for gross incompetence. Ogbuibe Onyebuchi, Okay. Yes, you're telling us about the breaking news. We have heard it and we have aired it. We thank you very much. Okay, let's go to the line again and see who is here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Bonnie. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm okay.
All right.
This is your friend, Comrade Elijah Then. We're calling from about this morning.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you. Permit me to talk on the issue of preachers' welfare. They said they are going to embark on industrial action. You know, sometimes we hit hard on the federal government on their inability to implement some of these policies again towards the welfare of the civil servants. The same thing, we are not doing it here in Abia. And when you speak up, they tag you as opposition. Mr. Bonnie, are you aware that these teachers are afraid of being speaking out? Mr. Bonnie, are you aware that in the past 3 or 4 months now, these teachers have been subjected to various and series of verifications? I am telling you authoritatively, and whatever I say, go and verify. Last 2 weeks, they went to Umuahia for physical verification after uploading their CVs on net that took them more than 6,000 to 7,000 naira because of the copy and all the other necessary things that they should do. And they are also complaining that the minimum wage has not been implemented, just like you said, first class graduates stepping in. In fact, it cannot be compared to what others are receiving from other states, talking about in terms of levels. The state government has done well in many factors or areas. I want him to use his good office to also to see that these teachers will not complain. This government, sorry to say, has not been sincere in some extent. Look at what is happening at Omeka dualization. Look at what is happening at Insulu. You sign indemnity, what you see, you have not been paid, and they are telling us they have been paid every dime. I rest my case this morning. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Elijah Udenwa. Hello, good morning. Morning.
Ben, good morning.
You're welcome. Yeah, we're here. Hello.
Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Okay, my name is Nkama Kenneth and I'm calling from Abansom. Yes.
All right.
Happy Easter Monday. Yes, I really want to react to the killings in Plateau, Benue, and generally the killing in Nigeria. We all know. I am not really going to say something different from what your analysis, you have said it all. Most times I do say, now listening to you and your analysis, and sometimes I'm being fed up already. So it's not a new thing, but the truth remains that I like what I keep saying. We should know, even it's not about Tinubu's government. You can recall vividly during the Buhari's government, I was calling and telling the people that all these marulas or whatever baptismal name that has been given to them, whatever dream or intention they think they have with that will never see the light of the day. I said it that, and even if another 15 years or 8 years is given to Buhari, the Fulanis will never conquer us. They will never give the original landowners in this country. It will never see the light of the day. It just and whoever is thinking that whatever thing they are doing, it just extending that day. Honestly, they can't have their way. They will never succeed. So they need to understand it and face the reality on this 25th century, where life, Nigeria now today, life has been reduced to zero. It's very unfortunate, and what I'm saying in this statement, whoever that is dreaming that the time will come when they will have their way or they will overrun anybody, it is something that is very, very impossible, and it will never happen. So then it is a grace of the light and the development that is going on in any other country. Look at the whole Sultan of Sokoto, the statement he made a few days ago, and somebody coming out in the name of Northern Youth threatening VDM, though irrespective that VDM, I'm not a fan of VDM, asking him to apologize. So let them understand that the world is moving on and we are in a global village. So such things will never have its way and will never succeed. They need to understand it better. So that's my little contribution. On the side of the civil servants in Niger State, the teachers precisely, I'm calling on the government please to do something and to do something to help them irrespective of whoever that somebody made a call and said, yes, I know it's not acceptable by your radio, trying to refer to somebody's caller. But anybody is saying that the governor is not doing very well, I think the person needs some doctor. He needs a checkup. So I know the governor is doing, and he's a listening governor, is doing well in every aspect of his governance. So all I'm asking is to listen to them and do the needful. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome.
My name, I choose to remain anonymous, please, because of that.
You do what? Sorry? Sorry?
Okay, thank you.
No, what's your name, sir? What's your name?
Huh?
What's your name?
Okay, you can just call me Charles. I'm Charles.
Go ahead. I don't need to call you. You call it. So go ahead now, Charles.
Well, I want to comment on the idea of self-defense, which some people are suggesting from high quarters. And I must say here that idea will be a revolution in the cooking. And they should know that self-defense, if adopted, may not be in the fashion of self-defense which they envision. It is going to be a collective, formidable resistance against agents of darkness who want to overrun the country. No matter whether the state actors and federal authorities are backing them on, I can tell you accurately. And they should as well know that that window of self-defense which they are suggesting as a solution to Nigerians will end up with a revolution or evolution of a parallel government. A parallel government whose power and gallantry may shock these terrorism enhancers we have in power today. So if that idea of self-defense is giving room to fester, then the scenario I just painted would be inescapable. Many thanks, Big Brother Bonnie and Magic FM, for this opportunity you have given me to share my view. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Ben.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you?
And how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I am Promises and I'm calling from Samuel Zunabula government. I'm speaking on the topic concerning the teachers and the minimum wage and their salary. It is not good that these teachers will be owed for a month and period without payment. They have families. They are the trainers of this the future generation. They are preparing future generation. Some of these leaders we are taught by the teachers because their slogan says no nation. They're supposed to teach, pay them whatever they have in order to motivate them, teaching the young generation. Some of them in the House of Assembly, I know their parents. These parents, yes, teachers. They should do something that teachers will be paid instead midnight meeting, so that not when they go on strike now they will begin to organize some midnight meetings. It is wrong. Another thing is that the boy who wanted to defend himself in the farm has been sentenced to. It is not good. This is the type of the judiciary we have. Somebody playing a defensive role in his own farm, and we are able to become a victor. Then you want now to turn him into becoming a victim because he defended himself. Had it been that had been that killed the boy in that field, we did ask for him and kill him also. So that is it. Let God judge what is happening in this nation. Remember that.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Bono.
Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, we're hearing you. Good morning.
I can hear you. I cannot hear you, but I know you.
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
My name is Chimozi, calling you from Ogbara.
Okay.
Now, talking about the this gruesome, senseless killing that is going on in Nigeria. If you check the complexity and the gravity of these killings, both in Plateau, Zamfara, Bolu, Kaduna, Kanu, and Benue State, it will give you a explicit direction of their agenda. It was all about their well-programmed total Islamization agenda that Mazonian told us about since 2015. And that was the main reason why they still holding him incommunicado. Because most of the sponsors of this well-orchestrated Islamization agenda were allegedly some of the top federal government officials. And this arrangement was made since 1990. Which they were working towards now. Understand? Now, you have to ask yourself, why did President Tinubu, Buhari, open a kind of free border for the influx of those Foot Islamic soldiers in 2015, and they furthered in, and since then, this was a serious insurgency, security, banditry, and harassment all over the country until he left office in 2023. But it seems incredible or boggling my mind that the same random gruesome killing is still going on in this regime, to show you that these people know where they are going to. And the Tinubu government could not be able to mitigate or quell it.
Okay, let's thank you for your submission so far, but let's correct one impression. As of 2015, before the election of President Buhari, he wasn't in government. President Jonathan was. But of course, courtesy of a man who has been an acting chairman of, I think, the PDP, Baraje, we got to learn that some foreign Fulanese were brought into the country for political considerations. And they have refused to go, and they metamorphosed into what we're seeing today. And it's, I think it's true, because some of them, they don't even understand our brand of Hausa. They don't understand even Come. That is the truth of the matter. But again, with the coming of Buhari, yes, it is alleged that they were also given some form of enforcement. Well, Buhari is gone. What are we doing today? That should be the question. Thank you very much for that. Let's look at the Facebook again. Ojukugo, you say, may his soul rest in peace. He lived a life worthy of emulation. Adieu, Pope. Okay. We also have here, okay, Chio Ogbuefi Unanyi Rugarosika. You've sent something earlier, but I think this is a repeat or something different. You say, is it not shameful to say that our security agencies who have access to federal fundings are being defeated by unprofessional civilians? How is that possible? That is your question and your statement. Now, Wangpa Onyemeri Joseph, you say, I seriously blame the state governors for insecurity in their states. If they like, let them remain in the good books of powers that be and leave their states insecure. I do not understand this. The state governors have said over time that they do not control the military, even the police. Their chief security officers, when matters that demand federal intervention has not truly come. So I don't know why you're blaming state governors. But now that the National Assembly is considering a framework for state policing, maybe, yes, we may just as well be looking at the situation where the governors will have powers over, direct powers over the security in their state. All right, thank you. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I called back.
Okay.
I have something to say concerning the state police issue you just mentioned.
Okay.
Because I think the whole thing is calculated. It's a calculated conspiracy to incapacitate the people from protection. So in the real sense of it, instead of the chief of army staff telling us that they are helpless, that we should beg to self-defense, why not appeal for state police so that self-defense can be well coordinated? It's not better for us when self-defense is structured according to the locality. Every community has a way of protecting themselves, for example. And so, if really they want solutions, I think that matter of police that has been in discussion and contemplation should be given over. But they are not sincere. That's what they are telling us. And they are trying to tell us that whatever happens now as it is, if we wake up one morning and these bandits have overrun everywhere, that we should not blame them. Right? That is what they are saying. And I will pass a verdict on them, okay, that they are complicit with those people. It's a plan. And it all boils down to what started in 1804, which Ahmadu Bello, they emphasized in the Parrot newspaper of 12 October 1960, telling his Fulani brothers, elite, that it is time for them to finish that divine mission. So we are not in total confusion or in doubt. It's not a big surprise to us. We saw it coming. But I think that God also has made a way out to deliver his people. Thank you very much and have a wonderful morning.
You too. Do have a wonderful day. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Engineer Adidas. I'm calling from Aba.
Okay.
Well, considering the country we are in, I wouldn't support self-defense because of the security challenges we are having in some states. In fact, almost all the states. No, self-defense will result to crisis. We are having farmer-header clash. But like I said last week, I will encourage the governors to go back to equipping the state vigilantes, the local vigilantes. Because since the police and the army, they will tell you that the thing will be happening, assuming we have an army barrack in Osisioma, and my village in Umokre, there's no, from here, assuming something is happening there in my village, before the army will from here get to Umokre, you know how long it will take. But if we have a well-equipped vigilantes in all the villages and the communities, at least they will be the ones to man the security affairs of their villages and their local governments. So that is very for our governor Lesotho and the teachers. It's quite pathetic that this set of people who have contributed, who have still contributed a lot to our national building, is being left is being left out when it comes to their welfare. But the governor should please, at this point, the person that called earlier said everybody saying he's not working. We are not saying that the governor is not working, but my main complaint in this administration is, why are things being shrouded in secrecy? There should be transparency, for God's sake. Look at the issues we are having at Omala Nsulu Airport. Look at the issues we are having at the six-lane developer. People are complaining that their properties have not been duly compensated. The same issue that we are having at the dualization going on at Omaka Road. The same thing you will still hear when this Ejimba hotel is coming to the job will come up. And all these things are secrets. Let's be transparent. That is just what I'm talking. So the governor should do well to see that these people, teachers, that they should be properly taken care of. We don't want a repeat of what happened between the pensioners and the state governors. Thank you. I see the man in July. Do you have it now?
All right. You see, if anybody is liked 100%, or if anybody is perfect, then that person is not part of us. It's a good thing that they've drawn the governor's attention to it. I need to say also that, having said that, the governor should know that they had been talking about it. There had been a 14-day ultimatum, and now 7, and then the threat of a strike. So it's clear that the governor must have heard. I did say earlier that it's quite possible that before the end of the day, government will react to it as well. And I hope also that it is not akin to what we say or we call midnight meetings. After there's a threat of strike or a full-blown strike. Let government do something. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good morning, Bonnie and Ben.
Yeah, go ahead now. Talk to us.
I'm Gomawagu from Anunuku.
Okay.
Police. The answer is that they are the ones. Why are they not going to fund the vigilantes in every communities before the state police and equip them properly so that they can handle these matters? They want the state police they will fund, but they shy away from vigilante and cannot fund it and leave the communities to provide for the vigilantes in terms of stipends. For me, that is absolutely wrong. They are playing to the gallery. If they want state police, let them start with vigilante and fund vigilantes adequately. That is my take on that insecurity all over Nigeria. Thank you and good morning.
And we thank you as well. That is our last take today on People in Politics. We thank you so very much for joining us. We do hope you find time to be with us again tomorrow. There'll be a whole lot more to talk about on the